UWant calls the cordless D600 a wet dry vacuum, but it really isn't a dry vacuum. It's a scrubbing powerhouse that'll get you floors and sometimes your carpets clean. And yeah, it does have a dry mode, and the vacuum can use up to 23,000 pascals of suction, but its biggest features are clearly designed around washing floors, collecting dirty water, and cleaning up after itself. And that's what I'm going to look at. And I think I'll keep the ketchup in the fridge. Next on Geekazine. What's up, my geeks? Jeffrey Powers from Geekazine, Think Magazine, put in a geek. UWant D600 is a full system for mopping and scrubbing floors with less hassle. At its core is a system holding two separate tanks, this thing right here, for clean and dirty water. The clean water tank just holds under 24 fluid ounces, while the dirty water tank holds 27 ounces. It offers 3 water levels of cleaning, letting you control the distribution. You can set it to smart mode or automatically adjust the suction, while max mode gives you extra power for tougher stains and messes. You know, that pasta stain that's sitting on your floor that not even the cat can lick up. The best part is that the main water tank isn't just for water. Unlike some of those other robot vacuums that say you can only put water into the tank, they actually come with a cleaning solution, so you can add that in and clean your floors. But one of the best features is not the vacuum, but the self-cleaning base station. When you finish cleaning, simply push the D600 into the station to start the cycle. The system uses hot water to wash the roller, followed by a hot air drying up to 212 degrees Fahrenheit. This will clean the scrubbing brush along with removing any odors that the vacuum could pick up. So let's go ahead and show you my journey in reviewing this device using my own house. Did you know that I haven't vacuumed the stairs in over 2 years? Well, I'm going to try it with this one. I am going to unbox. I'll talk about some of the tasks I put this vacuum to, and then give you my pros and cons with it. First of all, I do have to mention that UWant did send me a D600 to review, and they are sponsoring this video. However, all opinions are that of Geekazine. You can find all the information on how I review products over at geekazine.com/review. If you've got a product that you want me to take a look at, all you have to do is contact me on the page. Now, unboxing the D600 was fairly straightforward. The main unit itself, 2 rollers, 2 HEPA filters, a cleaning brush for the tank, and a bottle of cleaning solution. This is the roller right here. As you can see, it's pretty straightforward, nice felt, and of course it comes with a side part that latches in. We've got the brush right here for cleaning into the tank. I'll show you the tank in a second. We've got an extra HEPA filter right here. And then, of course, this was the tank I was showing you before, which has the 2 water reservoirs. There's the HEPA filter right there. Then, of course, we have some cleaning solution that you put into the tank. Assembly is also straightforward, with the biggest task being putting the handle on. By the way, there is a little notch that you can put a pin in to take it out if you need to. The handle itself is a freestyle system with the buttons still at your fingertips. The handle clips in and out if you need to move it around, especially if you're bringing it down to go underneath a couch or a table or anything like that. Like I said, the main tank is one piece, fill water and solution in this side, and then the dirty water comes out here. All you have to do to get the dirt out is lift this top piece right here, and the dirt will be right here. Then, of course, we have the deodorizing stick here. You got the dirty water that's in here. I tried to clean this out as best as possible, but it's all contained within one piece. The HEPA filter does sit on top, like I said, for the dirt in the container, and you can clean that out or replace that if you need to. Now, keep in mind, this could get a little bit messy because the dirt and hair collected is wet, and I would caution dumping dirty water into the sink without a strainer. I broke a piece of glass last week, and the vacuum did pick up a shard, which I don't want in the sink rattling around. So having a strainer to catch that was very important. But when you go to dock the vacuum for cleaning, a 4-light system on the base station will tell you how it's cleaning the brush. Green light means that it's an initial cleaning job. Blue is for deeper cleaning, and it's going to use water, so it'll ask you to fill the tank. Purple is UVC light for sterilizing the brush, and infrared assisted hot air drying to finalize the process. That process does take a little while to complete. Usually the first process is about 15 minutes, but you're usually on the couch napping at that point. By the way, the D600 is proud to say that their motor is IPX6 waterproof. If you have to clean the unit, simply remove the plate and roller, then spray down the unit. Once again, being careful not to get harmful debris in your drains. When you're done, go ahead and put it all back together. As for the unit cleaning your house, the 4.72-inch size brush allows you to get underneath couches, beds, tables, and other crevices. The roller reaches along the sides of the cleaning head, helping it to get closer to the walls and into the edges. When it does, the brush will continue to spin, picking up extra dirt. It will also turn itself off if you cannot freely spin the brush head. I would guess you'd have the same with your robot vacuum if the hair gets tangled up in the head. That doesn't happen here. Many other vacuums, you'll have to stop and get a scissors to take off the hair weaves. Let's talk about the battery life. The D600 can go up to 50 minutes of operation depending on which mode you have it set to. You can choose between the 3 modes of operation, or you can set it to Smart Clean and it will change as you go. The unit weighs about 9.5 pounds, which makes it easy to pick up and take upstairs or actually vacuum the stairs. When you first turn it on, you'll notice it'll want to start moving right away. That's because the brush acts as a self-propeller because it's spinning just like that. So it's easy to glide across many surfaces, but you do need to get used to it when you want to pull back on the unit or try to stop the vacuum altogether. Keep in mind the D600 isn't intended to replace every vacuum. Dry mode, for example, will have water, just a little bit of water on the scrubber if you just switch it quickly to dry mode when turning it on. Robot vacuums or other handhelds are better suited for everyday debris vacuuming without mopping. It can be run on carpets, just like here. I had an area rug where my cat marked it a couple times, so it had that, that smell. I decided to run the D600 on it, and I started flipping the carpet over and spraying the pet stain remover on the bottom, then running the vacuum a few times with this cleaner solution in the tank. By the way, it's about 1 cap full of cleaner for a tank of water. I let it dry, then came back to not having that ammonia smell take over the whole garage. I did the process again, and what was more interesting was the brush did not have that smell because it went through the full cleaning process, including the infrared. The carpet was actually ready to be placed back into its spot, which is great. I also pulled out my main rug, which is in the living room, and gave it a once-over. It definitely took out a couple of layers on that rug. In fact, I poured the wastewater into that bowl, and you're seeing that now. Then I became curious about my garage floor. We parked my wife's EV in the garage, so fluids like oil are not really present, but I did have some stains on the floor. The vacuum actually picked up a lot from those stains, and I had a very sludgy reserve tank, but it did the job. I would probably use this on a basement floor, not as much the garage floor, especially around my water drain and my water softener where it seems to get the dirtiest. No matter what I threw at it, though, the scrubber took care of the floor. Granted, for the pasta stain, I actually had to run it over about 3-4 times, but it picked up everything, including that fruit sticker that was adhered to the floor for the last 6 weeks. Taking the scrubber off to clean and replace is really not difficult. Flip this tab right here, and it comes right off. Here's a comparison between the 2 scrubbers that I got, the one that I used versus this one. Can you tell which one I've been using on the vacuum? Well, in all reality, yeah, you probably can. But as I picked it up, it still felt soft to the touch. It didn't feel like it was gross or it was matted down in any single way. So in all, not a bad mopping vacuum to have, but there are a few cons with these pros, and that's what we're going to go over right now. Like I said, if you want to stop the vacuum or pull the unit back to set it up right to turn it off, it does fight you. If you put it in the upright mode, it will turn off, but the better thing to do is just simply press the button. The scrubber does a great job at not tangling the hair on the brush, but it can get clogged in other areas. I found that you really need to pick up the bits and pieces, or it will clog up the vacuum after the brush. These are things like tissues, bits of paper, bread ties, hair ties, things of the sort. I do that with my robot vacuum anyway, so running the D600 after the robot will avoid most of those problems. And if you do get anything stuck in the vacuum while it's doing its cleaning process and then put it back on the dock, that could actually make a mess of its own because you're pulling out the wet brush to remove all the debris when the vacuum says that something's clogged. Any process that is run will stop and the vacuum will let you know that you have to open it up to resolve the issue. So have a towel ready. When the vacuum starts, it instantly starts spitting out water. If you are looking for the dry vacuum option, you have to hit the settings button twice to get it out of a wet brush. But like I said before, it will start pushing water onto the brush, so it will be a little bit wet. I won't use it much for everyday vacuuming as a dry brush, but mopping the kitchen, the bathrooms, and other hardwood floors is nice. Maybe the garage, I don't know. It even will get around the toilet, which that infrared will be nice to clean the vacuum and destroy those germs so you don't have to touch a thing. The cleaning process is loud during the first 15 minutes, then it quiets down. You will hear some noises come out of the unit as the brush will turn a little bit, so it dries and kills the germs. But only does it for a little bit and not that noticeable. I had to get used to the handle. I feel like there should have been a trigger on it or a way to kind of push a button in to change the handle rather than the buttons on the face to stop and start the cleaner. Finally, when you go to remove the dirt and dirty water, that can cause a small mess too. Start by trying to remove the dirt over a trash can. That's what I do. I'll take off this top piece right over the trash can. The dirt will sit right there. So you might want to even use the brush to clean it off, and it'll get dirty all through here. The dirty water will be here, and even though it's sealed right here, there's a little cap, there is an air hole here. So if you start to remove the dirty water, you might get some clean water shooting out over here. And like I said, you might want to get a strainer or use an alternate sink, or maybe just dump the water outside so you don't get bad debris down your drains, because that can cause other problems. However, the D600 does a great job in cleaning the kitchen floors, the hardwood floors, everything like that. And the added bonus of a quick clean on an area rug is pretty handy. Anything to keep the rug from looking matted down from traffic is really nice. I'll do a deeper cleaning a little bit later. You might also not be cleaning your garage or your basement this way, but it's not an impossible task to do with the D600. So the real question is, do you have the D600 or anything from UWant or similar vacuum? Let me know your experiences down in the comments below over at Geekazine.com, youtube.com/Geekazine, where you can like, subscribe, and of course, hit that bell notification so you know when the next video comes out. Thanks a lot for watching. My name is Jeffrey Powers. You guys geek out and stay clean with UWant and the D600.